Today we're going to go over how to get your pressure canner going and the basics of pressure canning. So this is my pressure canner. It's a Presto. I have put 3 liters of water in it, as suggested by the manual, along with a little dash of vinegar just to help with our well water. I'm going to load it up. This one holds 7 quarts. Currently I have 5 quarts ready to go. This is ground beef with some tomatoes. The canner right now is cold, the jars are cold, the lids are warm. Rule of thumb, if the food is cold, canner starts cold. If food is hot, canner can start hot. Now we're just gonna turn it up and put the lid on. I just want to make sure the seal's in there. They can see through this little guy. And then this one works. Just gonna tighten it. So now we've got the burner on, and we're just gonna wait till steam starts coming out of this and start the timer then. So as you can see, there's a little bit of steam coming out. You can feel it. So now we're gonna set the timer for 10 minutes. This venting is required. Like, you could get up to pressure, but if you don't vent it for 10 minutes, the pressure won't equal the correct temp that the pressure canner needs to hit. So after the 10 minutes, we will put the regulator on and get it up to pressure. So the canner's been venting for 10 minutes, so now we're going to put on the regulator. This is a 15-pound regulator, so when the pressure gets to 15, it will rock. But with our elevation, almost all recipes are 10 to 11 pounds. So before the dial gauge gets higher, this little guy is going to pop up. It's working on it right now. So as you can see, the little guy in the back popped. The gauge is at 10 pounds per pressure. If you use a 10-pound weighted gauge, which this is a 15, so that's why it's not rocking right now, you go 10 pounds and you go when it's rocking. For the dial gauges, you want to make sure it's at 11 pounds when you start the timer. So right now we're almost at 11. Once we hit 11, I'll start the timer. Since these are quarts of beef, they will be kept at 11 pounds per pressure for an hour and a half. When you're pressure canning, if your dial goes under your recommended pressure, you have to restart the timer. So it's best to just keep an eye on it. Usually I am in the kitchen working on other stuff, cleaning up the messes. Right now I am prepping another recipe to go in the canner once this batch is done. So as we just hit 11, and I'll turn it down. Each stove has different sweet spots. Mine still figuring out, but it's usually pretty low heat, and once it's at the pressure, it's pretty heavy. So once we hit the hour and 30 minutes, I'll show you how to depressurize your canner safely. So, canner's been going for the required hour and a half at over 11 pounds. Mine likes to sit at about 12 to 13. So now we're just gonna, since it's hit the timer, off the heat. And we're gonna wait till the dial gauge goes down to 0, which then we will remove the regulator, let it sit for another 10 minutes, and then open it up. So our dial's at 0, so we're gonna remove the regulator. And no steam coming out, so that means it's fully depressurized. So we're gonna wait 10 minutes because it's really hot in the canner, and then we'll open it up. So we've waited 10 minutes and now we're going to remove the lid. Squeeze really warm. So I like to set it to let the steam out. Got a little leakage shown by the water, but everything is looking good. So these are out of the canner. Looks like I got a little tight on a couple bit with the headspace, which led to the grease we saw in the canner. But when pressure canning, you want it to be boiling like that, so these guys look good. And that is how you use pressure canner.